Bridemaid of Reddit who was involved in a Bridezilla wedding. What happened?
Picked $400 bridesmaid dresses. Destination bachelorette that cost over $1,200. Insisted on a super expensive spot for the bridal shower. Registered at Williams-Sonoma. I was a broke-ass college student with limited funds, but managed to pay for all this crap and give a gift. Bonus points. Her husband forgot his entire fucking tux and didn't figure this out until a few hours before the ceremony. A few minutes before the ceremony, when she screamed at me for like the 500th time that day, I snapped and told her either she cut her shit or I was getting in my car and going home. She cut her shit. The rest of it went fine. Friend asked me to be a bridesmaid in her shotgun wedding that was to take place in a little over a month. She has us order semi-expensive dresses, and they had to be altered to a certain length. Shoes had to be ordered. Toenails had to be painted neutral color, and fingernails had to be French manicure. We weren't allowed to paint our own nails. We had to get them done at a salon. Hair had to be done professionally by her hairstylist. And we were not, under any circumstance, to have bikini tan lines visible. Mind you, this was right after summer. I lived in an area where beach attire was usually the only attire and everyone had visible tan lines. I eventually had to tell her that I could not afford to have everything done professionally with such short notice. I would be happy to do my hair and makeup. My hair was so short I couldn't do an updo. She told me her mom could pay, and then I could pay her back. That was the final straw. I sent an email to her telling her I could no longer be in her wedding. She was pregnant, about to get hitched, and now I was adding to her list of problems. I valued the friendship and told her such, but just couldn't do what she was asking. I hadn't heard from her for years, until one day she sent me a message asking for me to buy from her MLM campaign, FFS. I was in a wedding where the bride planned 2 separate bachelorette weekends for herself and got mad at anyone who couldn't/wouldn't spend 2 3-day weekends at $500 each away from their husbands/kids/jobs. The week leading up to the wedding, the temp for the big day was forecast to be a high of 10*F, February wedding, in US. Bride was insisting on outdoor photos without coats because we can't hide the dresses. Everyone, including the photographer, tells her hell no. Day of, she pitches a fit when we refuse to do more than one quick photo. Afterwards, she stopped talking to 75% of the bridal party because of their refusal to accommodate her outrageous demands. To this day, years later, she still complains about how her bridesmaids ruined her wedding. The short story is that she lied. She lied to the venue about the number of guests that were attending, effectively packing us like sardines. She lied about having a day of staff. That meant that all the dates of the bridesmaids spent the day hanging flowers, running to get kegs and waters, pouring the champagne for guests, setting up the entire venue the day before. She lied to the hair and makeup personnel about the number of people who were obtaining services in order to get them to come to the site. This forced guests to get hair and makeup done in order for the bride not to have to be charged extra. She lied to the catering about the number of guests. This caused them to run out of food and alcohol. All in all, I think her lies saved her $1,500, but cost her close friendships as her attitude toward the whole situation was indignation instead of being apologetic. Overheard the bride drunkenly tell a mutual friend at her wedding day that if she could do it all over again, she wouldn't have had myself and a mutual friend in her bridal party. I was the MOH. I planned her bachelorette party with a mutual friend from another country and dropped a lot of money on it personally so she would have the party she wanted. I gifted her a pair of Jimmy Choos for her wedding day along with a beautiful ring with her wedding date engraved. I had to fly to Europe for her wedding, use a hire car to get around, and help with loading/transporting wedding items back and forth. I was up that morning arranging with the hotel to deliver breakfast/coffee/tea for the bridal party. An old friend decided a week before the wedding she was going to fly from Oz to surprise the bride. So I had to arrange that surprise and find a hotel room for this friend and speak to the groom to check with catering and arrange a seat for her without the bride knowing. I stepped in to help the makeup artist as she was running behind schedule. I walked the venue to make sure things were on track. There are more things she did throughout the night that infuriated me. I was treated like a slave and spoken to like one. I catered to her every fucking whim from 6 a.m. until midnight, and then to overhear that. Apparently her wedding day was ruined because the calla lilies in her centerpieces wouldn't stay suspended in the water vase like she wanted. And it was all my fault because they slowly floated to the top. Next day, she is all hugs and kisses saying it was the best night ever and she couldn't have done it without me. I have never wanted to falcon punch a bitch so hard in the face. I will never ever be a bridesmaid again. Fuck that. It was a best friend of mine who was very frugal, so I figured she was going to have a reasonable wedding and bachelorette party. I had shared my monetary concerns with her too, that I worked and went to school and couldn't take off much time. She didn't have that many friends, so it was only me and one other girl as bridesmaids. She asked us to handmake all her decorations for the wedding. I put in 15 hours a week hand-making decorations, all outside of working and going to school full-time. Then she planned a week-long bachelorette party out of town, also asking us to foot the bill, not to mention our dresses, which I wanted to find something affordable, but she picked designer matching dresses that we had to pay for. Never worn it again. Been trying to sell it online. I spent nearly $1,000 on the whole ordeal. Not to mention I did her hair and makeup for free for the wedding. I just felt largely taken advantage of and unappreciated. We are no longer friends because we ended up working together after the wedding, and she tried to screw me over at work. It all makes me very reluctant to agree to be in someone's wedding again, even someone I thought would be considerate of everyone else's budget and time. My wife got roped into doing the photos for her stepsister's wedding. Normally, my wife would charge between $4,000 and $6,000 for this, and we were flying across the country to attend this wedding mostly out of family obligation. So Bride was getting an amazing deal. Over the course of 6 months, Bride becomes incredibly hateful on social media, constantly starting drama, was bitchy in her save the dates, changed venue and locations several times. We knew it was going to be a shit show, but we'd committed, so we bought our plane tickets and planned to come. Week before the wedding, Bride goes totally psycho and posts nasty, awful things about half of her wedding party, including my wife. So we decide to cancel the photography and not attend the wedding. Wasn't worth it anymore. Bride's own mother was so ashamed of her behavior that she didn't attend either. All total, they had 8 people at their wedding and only got cell phone pictures. We had a nice little vacation and visited a lot of friends in the area. Edit. This blew up, and because a lot of people are asking how wedding photos can cost so much. We're not in a high cost of living area, though we are in a major metro. We tend to price our services in the middle of the pack for our competition and focus on providing a superior experience for our clients. We want everything to go without a hitch for our clients because there are no second chances with a wedding, so we prepare and have equipment available for just about anything that might happen, including a set of 20 high-quality umbrellas just in the off chance it rains, and we've needed them before. So, my wife's average wedding is 60 to 80 man-hours of work and relies on tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment, and we bring 2 of everything, so if something breaks we have a backup. During a full day, 14 hours or so, 2 photographers across 3 to 4 cameras that each cost more than my car. We'll take sometimes 20,000 pictures that all need to be reviewed, culled, edited, etc., not to mention scouting the location, testing the lighting, engagement photos, hair day photos, 1 or 2 client consultations, post-wedding review session, etc. A lot goes into planning a flawless wedding day for our clients, and even more goes into providing the best possible product we can. We don't do weddings often anymore because they are so stressful and so many things can go wrong that impact the quality of our work. My wife has gravitated towards newborn and maternity work the last few years, but we still keep our wedding setup available. There are photographers in our area that charge upwards of $20,000 for a wedding that's local, let alone if you travel for it. And to top it all off, don't forget that Uncle Sam wants his 35 to 40% after all of our hard work, since my wife works for herself and pays both her taxes and the employer side of the taxes as well. And that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it, and don't forget to comment with a similar anecdote or experience related to the video's topic. Leave a like, share the video if you enjoyed it, and lastly, don't forget to activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our daily videos. Ciao!